All right, so let's have a look at the worded question. This is a particularly difficult question, actually. The first equation is easy to get, but the second one can be quite tricky if you don't put brackets in the right places. So the first one's really easy. So let's say that a man's age is A, so that can be the man, and the B can be the son's age. All right, you can choose any letters you like. I'm just going to choose A and B. So the first thing we're told is that a man's age is 3 times his son's age, right? So the man's age is 3 times his son's age. Easy. It's the second bit that becomes really problematic. So what you want to do is think about 10 years ago, what was happening. So their ages, we still want to know their ages now. Okay, so I'm going to say that this guy, I want his age now, but we're talking 10 years ago. All right, so I need to take off 10 from his age because he's still the same age now, but we want to talk about 10 years less than now. And we want to do the same thing with the son, but this time we want 5 lots of his age, but 10 years ago. Now, it's not quite this simple though. You're going to get some weird answers if you do it like this, because it's 5 times, not 5 times his age, then take away 10. It's 5 times his age 10 years ago. So what we need to do is put some brackets around this part, right? Because it's 5 times whatever he was 10 years ago, right? It's not 5 times his age now, take away 10. So the brackets make this bit important. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just rearrange this a bit because it's quite messy, and then I'm going to use the substitution method. So this can be A minus 10 still. Let's get rid of our brackets. We get 5B minus 50. All right, I'm just distributing my brackets. All right, so let's rearrange this. I'm going to put my, my numbers together. So let's do A equals 5B minus 50 plus 10. So that's going to be minus 40. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is think about how I can use this equation and this equation, right? So these are my 2 different equations. So I'm going to use the substitution method, right? Because I'm told that A is 3B. So instead of A, I'm going to put in 3B. So 3B equals 5B minus 40. All right, I'm going to rearrange this. So 3B minus 5B is negative 40. So then I get negative 2B is negative 40. Then I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2. So B is 20. So this makes the son 20, right? So the son is 20. And we know that A is 3B. So we're just going to times it by 3, which makes the man 60. So you can test it by putting it into this second equation and seeing if that information makes sense as well. So 10 years ago, the man was 50. And then 10 years ago, the son was 10. Now, does this make sense? We want the son to be 5 times, sorry, we want the dad to be 5 times as old as the son. Look at that, it does work. So we can check it that way as well. That was a particularly difficult question. Hopefully that made some sense to you. I'm going to clear this and do question 6 instead. So question 6, I think, is much, much easier. So a grandfather is 10 times older. Again, I'm going to do A for the grandfather and B for the granddaughter. All right, so the grandfather is 10 times older than the granddaughter. So the grandfather is 10 times older than the granddaughter. Easy. And then the other thing we're told is that he's 54 years older than her. So he's got to be 54 years more than her. I do encourage you to pause this video and actually solve the question yourself before you watch the rest of it. I should have said that in the last question too. All right, so I'm going to use the substitution method again. Why not? So if A is 10B, I'm going to put 10B in place of A. So B plus 54 equals 10B. And I'm going to collect my B's. So 54 equals 10B minus B. So then 54 equals 9B. And then I'm just going to divide by 9. So 54 divided 9 is 6. So that makes the granddaughter 6. Now we know that the grandfather is 10 times her age, so that makes him 60. And then we can check this, right? So he needs to be 54 years older than her, and he is. Fantastic. Right, I hope that made sense.